before Cowpens, before Kings Mountain, before the British even looked south, the American Revolution in the Carolinas erupted into a civil war. And it all happened in the middle of a freaking snowstorm. This is the story of the Snow Campaign, the moment Patriot militia marched into the backcountry to crush Loyalist uprising and walked straight into one of the heaviest snowfalls in Carolina history. Hi everyone, I'm historian Lisa Weekland. Welcome back to Historical USA, where we uncover forgotten stories, hidden battles, and surprising moments that shaped America long before they made it into your textbooks. Today, we're headed to the Carolina backcountry, a place where the revolution didn't wait for the Declaration of Independence or famous generals. It erupted in the form of neighbors turning on neighbors, and a militia marching straight into one of the worst snowstorms the South had ever seen. This is the story of the Snow Campaign, the Carolinas' first civil war, fought in the winter of 1775. The winter of 1775, Lexington and Concord had been fought. George Washington was digging in at Boston. But in the South, far from the famous battlefields, the war was already becoming something different, more personal, more intimate, and far more dangerous. In South Carolina backcountry, neighbors eyed each other with suspicion. Old grudges resurfaced, and the question of loyalty to king or Congress became a line that split communities in two. Now, Richard Richardson was not a firebrand like Samuel Adams. He wasn't a fighter either like Israel Putnam. He was a planter, a veteran of the Cherokee War, and a man who believed order could still be restored. But when Loyalists began seizing gunpowder and threatening Patriot leaders, Richardson stepped forward. He would lead the largest militia force the colony had ever assembled, nearly 3,000 men. On the other hand, Patrick Cunningham was everything Richardson wasn't. He was fiery, impulsive, and deeply loyal to the crown. When he and a band of Loyalists intercepted a wagon of Patriot gunpowder, the fuse was lit. Now, somewhere in Richardson's ranks marched a small, wiry officer named Francis Marion.
Swamp fox, tail on his hat. Nobody knows where the swamp fox at. Swamp fox, hides in the glen. He runs away to fight again.
He wasn't the swamp fox, at least not yet. But the Snow Campaign was one of his first steps into legend. Now, the 96th district was the frontier. It was isolated, rugged, and fiercely independent. Here, the revolution wasn't a distant political debate. It was more of a question of survival. Loyalists believed that the Patriots were radicals. Patriots believed the Loyalists were traitors, and both sides believed that the other would strike first. November of 1775, Richardson would issue the call. Militia poured in from the Low Country, the Midlands, and even parts of North Carolina. Farmers left their fields. Teenagers left their homes for the first time, and together they marched into the backcountry. The Patriots moved fast. They captured Loyalist leaders, reclaiming stolen munitions and forcing oaths of allegiance. Resistance to them crumbled, but the Loyalists weren't done, not yet. On the frigid morning of December 22nd, 1775, beneath a pale winter sky along the banks of the Reedy River near present-day Simpsonville, South Carolina, Loyalist Captain Patrick Cunningham had gathered roughly 500 men, farmers, tradesmen, and settlers, many weary and ill-prepared for the fight ahead. They sought to rally support, disrupt Patriot efforts, and hold their ground in a land torn by divided loyalties. As dawn broke, the Patriots moved swiftly and silently through the dense canebrakes lining the riverbanks, launching a surprise attack that caught Cunningham's forces completely off guard. The battle was fierce but brief. Gunfire echoed through the thickets. Men grappled in the cold, and the Loyalists, overwhelmed and outnumbered, quickly faltered. 6 Loyalists were killed or wounded, but the greater blow was the capture of 130 men, including many of Cunningham's key leaders. The Patriots suffered a single wounded soldier. The decisive victory shattered the Loyalist resistance in the region, securing Patriot control over the backcountry and making a pivotal turning point in the southern theater of the Revolution. And then the snow came. As someone who lived in South Carolina, I know that Carolina winters usually are rather mild. But in late December 1775, a massive snowstorm swept across the region, one of the heaviest in living memory. Patriot militia trudged home through drifts that reached their knees. Men froze, horses collapsed, and the campaign that had begun as a show of force became a test of endurance. Years later, veterans remembered the snow more vividly than the fighting. Now, the snow campaign didn't make headlines in Philadelphia, but in the South, it changed everything. Patriots would gain control of the backcountry for nearly a year. The Loyalists were in tatters. The Revolution in the South would become more of a civil war, and future legends like Francis Marion gained real early experience. The snow campaign set the stage for the brutal Southern theater that would define the later years of the Revolution. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the snow campaign, a moment when the Revolution in the South became personal, messy, and unforgettable. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean so much if you could like this video, share it, and leave a comment telling me what part of this early Southern story surprised you most. And if you want to support my research, my writing, the production that goes into Historical USA, you can join our community on Patreon or become a member here on YouTube. Your support helps keep these stories alive. I'm historian Lisa Weekland. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.